Good morning. I have been doing the clairs all morning. All morning I have been working on the clairs. So and then I have an article. It's from Oprah.com. So it's pretty interesting. Oprah is talking about the Clairsenses. So she knows about the clairs. So this is Intuition 101, developing your Clairsenses. So she goes into the four main Clairsenses, but then she also has two that I didn't go into before. So here it's Clairalience. Clairalience is the clear, means clear smelling. Clairalience, clear smelling. Clairgustance, gusto, is clear tasting. So Clairgustance is clear tasting. I'm gonna go into each one. The timestamps will be in the comments for these, but I'm gonna go straight into the article. This is from Oprah.com, and it's called Intuition 101, Developing Your Clairsenses by Rebecca Rosen. The link for this article will be in the description box, so if you want to click on the link, you can just click on the link and everything will pop up. So whether you refer to it as a gut reaction, instinct, foresight, or a certain knowingness about events that haven't yet taken place, everyone has the gift of intuition. We all have intuition. You just have to pay attention. You are listening to the signs and signals. Psychic medium Rebecca Rosen explains that the five clear senses, what they are, and how to identify and develop your strongest clear sense in order to open the door to powerful guidance that will help you create a meaningful and magical life. So intuition, we all have intuition. You just have to pay attention to your intuition. Intuition, these senses, they are from God. God gives you these. These are your gifts. We all have gifts. You just have to pay attention. You have to pay attention. God gives you gifts. He gives you signs. He gives you warnings. You just have to pay attention, and you have to listen to your signs, pay attention to your body, everything, because that's how you know. We don't want to pay attention to anything. Everything is the media. But once you know yourself and you know your body and you know, just pay attention. So early on, I'm talking. It's like I'm talking, but I'm talking through the article. I'm reading the article. So it's the article actually talking. The link will be in the description box, so you can click on the link, but I pretty much go through everything in this video. But if you want to click on the link, you can click on the link. So early on, when I was developing my spiritual connection, I battled with tremendous self-doubt. So I'm talking, but it's Rebecca Rosen who's talking. She's the psychic medium. It was hard for me not to compare my particular style of connecting with other mediums' experiences. It was clear to me that many mediums actually did see dead people or ghost-like apparitions. I wondered if I'm not seeing these ghosts standing next to the person I'm reading for, does that mean I'm not really connecting to spirit? Meanwhile, I was, in fact, receiving profound validations or evidence from spirits to convince both the people I worked with and myself. There was a genuine connection being made. So even when you're reading your cards or you're doing whatever you're doing and you don't see the spirit, or if you see the spirit, it's like you are connecting. You're still connecting. As I started to explore the language of spirit and better understand how intuition works, I realized that my dominant way of receiving intuitive information was more auditory. Auditory is audio. That's listening. That's hearing. That's clairaudience. That means that you're hearing things. So you may not see it, but you hear it. It's your intuition. Just pay attention. Pay attention to it. Experience rather than a visual one. So she was more auditory experience rather than a visual one. The irony was that once I let go of my desire to see, I started to recognize energy as sparks of light or orbs and swirling whiffs around the room. With time, I learned that while we have one or two dominant physical senses, we also have dominant intuitive senses, and that we all connect with spirit in our own unique way. Our job is to figure out what way that is, and then simply embrace it. And that's exactly what I'm going to help you do. So this is a good article. It's going to help you be more in tune with your intuition, with your senses, your intuitive senses. So like radio waves, spiritual information is constantly being broadcast around us. So it's really just a matter of learning how to tune into it, to interpret what spirit is broadcasting. What is the spirit trying to tell you? You have to pay attention. You have to listen. You have to know, just paying attention to it. You'll be using your 5 senses just like you do in your day-to-day life. And just as you may feel that some of your senses are more reliable than others for making everyday judgments, you have senses or clairs that are stronger for connecting with spirit. The clairsenses are types of psychic abilities that correspond with the 5 senses. That's seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, and tasting. When I tap into my intuition and spirit energy, my mind and body become flooded with mental impressions, thoughts, feelings, images, sounds, tastes, and smells. To help you determine what your dominant clairs are, let me start by first explaining what they are and how our preferred senses shape our lives. So it's going to go into defining the clairsenses. So I'm going to go into each one. So, and then we have the 5 senses. That's taste, smell, that's touch, that's hearing. What is it? Feeling? Is it feeling, taste, touch? You know. We all have 5 senses, 5 main senses, and we have 5 intuitive senses. But I'm going to go in. So clairvoyance means clear seeings. Clear seeing. So clairvoyance is the V, because the V is in there, so I remember it as vision. So it's seeing. It's like you're seeing it. You're getting a vision of it. So, and then this is when visions past. You see it has the V in there. Clairvoyance means clear seeing. So this is when visions past, present, and future flash through our mind's eye. That's your 3rd eye. Much like a daydream. Many of us are highly visual and able to understand an idea best when we see it or written or sketched out as an image on a computer screen or on a canvas, like as a painting. Visual people often choose to be artists, builders, photographers, decorators, designers, and so forth. It sounds so familiar. Your clairvoyance, that's your vision, is most likely a dominant sense. So clairvoyant, like people that see, are usually creative. They're builders, they're artists, photographers, decorators, designers. It's awesome. Clairvoyance. And then when you visualize, you can see things. When you see it, you memorize it, and that's how you remember things. Is once you see it, it's like you don't forget it, and you can put it together into something. That's like a photographic memory. So many of us are highly visual and able to understand an idea best when we see it in written or sketched out as an image on a computer screen or on a canvas. So when you see something, you don't forget the image. It's like, that's clairvoyance. That means seeing clearly. Clear seeing. Like, okay. So now I'm going to go into clairaudience. Clairaudience means clear hearing. So audience is like audio. So it's hearing. So clairaudience means clear hearing. This is when we hear words, sounds, or music in our own in our own mind's voice. So you see some readers, they hear music, like when they're reading their cards or whatever. They hear a song, and the song has reference to what they're reading. It has reference to what's going on, to your situation or issue at hand. So you can hear it. That's clear audience, clear hearing. So you're hearing things. On rare occasions, spirit may be able to create audible sound, though this takes tremendous amount of focused energy. Some of us best retain and comprehend information when we hear it spoken out loud. Our natural talents tend to lie in our auditory faculties, often making us gifted musicians, singers, writers, and public speakers. If this feels right to you, clairaudience may be a leading sense for you. So you might be clairaudience. It's like you hear things. You're a good musician, a singer, a writer, and public speaker. So this is awesome. So clairaudience is clear hearing. It's like you hear music, you hear things. So now clairsentience. Clairsentience means clear feeling. How do I remember that? Clairsentience. Sentience is in the word sentience. So it's like sensitive, emotions, it's feelings. So clairsentience means clear feelings. This entails feeling a person's or person's spirit emotions, or feeling another's physical pain. Many of us are clairsentients without consciously being aware of it. That's like an empath, you know? When we get a strong gut feeling, positive or negative, about someone we just met, or we get the chills for no apparent reason, that's a sign. Pay attention to the sign. Like you get the feeling like you don't like a person, or someone has a funny character and they give you a weird vibe or a weird feeling. That is your clairsentience, and you have to pay attention to it. Like when you get a strong gut feeling, positive or negative, about someone we just met, or we get the chills for no apparent reason, we may be tuning into the emotional energy of a person's spirit around us. So you can feel their vibe, you feel their energy, and it's like, oh my God, I don't want to be around this person. And that is your clairsentience, your clear feelings that you have in these feelings. No one will understand your feelings. You will be the only one that understands it, and you have to pay attention to your feelings, your emotions, your body. You have to pay attention. That's how you know. We are highly sensitive and are in tune with not only our own feelings, but also the feelings of others. This makes us natural healers and caregivers. We often feel inspired to pursue careers as doctors, therapists, counselors, nannies, and teachers. If this is you, clairsentience is the top of your top of your list. So that is more for empaths. Empaths are the ones that feel everything. You feel everything, and that's what makes you an empath. You feel everything. You feel other people's energy. You can feel a room and you know what the hell is going on. I'm not going there, or like you feel things. You just know things. Here's one. Clairalience. Clairalience means clear smelling. Clear smelling. Clairalience. Clairalience. I'm gonna put that in the description box. I have to think of a way to remember that. Clairalience is clear smelling. This is being able to smell odors that don't have any kind of physical source. It's like you smell something and there's nothing there. Instances: this could include smelling the perfume or the cigarette smoke of a deceased relative. Used as a sign of their presence around us. So when you're smelling something that's not there, or old perfume, the cigars, those are things, those are signs. That's you're smelling. That's clairalience, means clear smelling. When our sense of smell is strong and distinct, we may find that certain smells connect us to past memories, or we may be drawn to working as a florist, as a wine taster or a perfume fragrance creator. So this one, this Claire, my eye is itching, oh my God, is for smelling, because sometimes you can smell something that's not there and then it'll take you back to a place in the past, like your grandma or something when you was a child, or it'll just take you back, and that's when you're smelling a familiar smell. That's Clairalience. That means clear smelling. So the next one is clear tasting. Clear tasting. Clairgustance is clear tasting. I'm sorry. Clear tasting. This is the ability to taste something that isn't actually there. This experience oftentimes comes out of the blue when a deceased loved one is attempting to communicate a memory or association we have with a particular food or beverage that reminds us of them. If we have a heightened sense of taste, this could make us natural chef, bakers, or food critics. Wow, that's kind of awesome. Clairgustance. Gustance. A way to remember gustance, Clairgustance, is eating. That's tasting. That is your sense of taste. That's the ability to taste something that's actually not there. The experience oftentimes comes from out of the blue. It just happens randomly out of the blue. And you start tasting something, or you'll remember it. And that's your Clairgustance is kicking in. So now we're going to go into Claircognizance. Claircognizance means a clear knowing. This is when we have knowledge, clear knowing. Cognizance, I think of it as cognitive thinking. That means a clear knowing. This is when we have a knowledge of people or events that we would not normally have knowledge about. Like, you know things that you should not know. Like, you shouldn't know this, but you know it, and it's true. Spirit impresses us with truths that simply pop into our minds from out of nowhere. An example of this would be a premonition. A premonition is like a vision. A premonition is a foresight, something that you see or like you just know it. Like, this is what it is, and you can't tell me it's not. This is what it is. A forewarning of something that will happen in the future. Claircognizance requires tremendous faith, because there's often no practical explanation for why we suddenly know something. Many philosophers, professors, doctors, scientists, religious and spiritual leaders, and powerful sales and business leaders tend to be highly intuitive and seem to just know the facts with a sense of certainty. If this is you, consider claircognizance as one of your dominant senses. Wow. So I like the meaning of that one. That one was awesome. It's like you just know things, and how to recognize your dominant style of sensing. So I went into 4. So this is like to close it out. Now, how do you recognize what your preferred or dominant style of sensing is? Begin by sitting in a comfortable place where you won't be distracted for a few minutes. Scan the area around you, taking in all details and feelings of where you are. Then close your eyes and focus on your breath. Breathe deeply and slowly as you mentally review what caught your attention when you scanned the room. Was it the sight of something that stood out, the sound of something that you heard, the feeling of something registering in your stomach or heart, a taste or smell that you suddenly appeared, or a strong thought about something that hit you from out of the blue? Still not sure what your dominant clair is? In my book, Spirited, so I'm going to close it out here. That was just to close it out. If you want to check out what she was talking about in the Oprah.com article, it's going to be in the description box. And the links will be in the description box, and the timestamps will be in the comments. So thanks for watching. The kids are up, the music is on, so I gotta stop. So always leave with love. Thanks for watching. Bye.